Good morning. Good morning. That's Carly, or part of her anyways. Good morning. How was everybody's week? Hey, Barb. Barb. Barb is looking forward to this one. We're going to talk about a couple of tools that are available in Wilcom that get very little attention. Good morning, Evelyn. That get very little attention. The program splits, the user defined splits, the good morning, Diane, and the carving stamp tool. Oh, sorry, hairs everywhere. Anyways, um, so I put together a little slide presentation, and we're gonna bounce between that and Wilcom, and I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. All right, everybody got their coffee? Yeah? Should we hang out for a minute? Oh, hey, Gail. Gail's here. Good morning. All right. So, gonna share the screen now. You all ready? Here we go. Today's episode 176. Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Cindy. 176 carving tools and user defined splits. So, program splits. Program splits work much like the motif in that it uses a predetermined or predefined pattern that's already built into the software. There are two icons located on the Docker. One is for split borders, one is for fill splits. So that's what we're going to look at first. My apologies for the dogs. They're obviously seeing something outside that they have no control over. The first one we want to work with is the program splits for fills. I'm going to try to enlarge this a little bit. Is that better? Um, this blue one back here, as you can see, oh, good morning, Cindy. I'm going to select my blue object and I am going to click on motif because that's the first thing I want to show you, motifs. So if I click on motif, that is not supposed to be there. I wonder if I named him wrong. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I'm bad. Okay, select the blue and I click on motif fill. It will fill my object with the motif. And then of course, over here I can go and I can uh, locate different motifs and fill them in. I have settings here that, and again, I prefer metric. I have settings here that I can make adjustment with. I can make it smaller. I can make it bigger. Um, so yeah, that's a motif. Now, if we bring our second object here that we're going to use a program split, and that's this one here that looks like a carving in a square. We're going to select that, and it's going to default to whatever split is defaulting. But again, you can change that. There is oh, that one's nice. There's a really large display of splits. Oh, I did that one yesterday for you guys. scales. And again, just like everything else, you can resize it. Of course, then you want to also resize the column spacing to match, as well as the row spacing to match. Oops, that was a bit much. Let's take this back up to 3. See, then we can just, change our user-defined split. And again, it works much like the motif. Let's go over to the, excuse me, let's go over to the border split, the program split for border. And again, I'm going to put the blue down on top. And I am going to select the border split motif, the border motif, which is the one we were pressing earlier. Okay, so again, you have all of your options here. You can choose what you want. You can also resize this. This becomes part of a column C. You have a column A, which goes back and forth, a column B, which uses 2 lines. Column C, we can change that. Supposed to be able to change that. Or maybe we can't with the motif. But let's try it with the splits. Here is our program split for the border. You see, it's about, if it's half the size of the fill, which is to indicate border. And again, it's going to create your stamps. And again, you're going to be able to change the stamp. In this one, yesterday it worked. Keep your fingers crossed. Ta-da! This one you can change, resize. And you can continue to make it bigger. You can make it smaller, whatever size border you need. So, just like the motif, you select the appropriate tool. And this is program split border. You can adjust the size using the column C sizing. I think so too, Cindy. Cindy is saying that it's cute to have, I love that. I love your icon picture with the babies. That it's cute to have the borders. And it is that it's cute to have, yes, that it's cute to have the borders. And I love the fact that not only can you change the splits, you can change the sizing. And there are other tools here, other settings here. You can offset it. You can change the settings. You can offset one side to the other, and it will just change that side. So anyways, just like works like the motifs, only instead of creating a motif, you're creating a stamp pattern. Okay, let's drop this. Come along, little doggy. And now, the carving stamp, it includes 4 tabs. There's the use pattern. It's a predefined pattern. Use object. That one gets kind of tricky. Digitize, which is actually the user-defined stamp. And then there's a 4th tab called appearance. We're going to work with each of those. Oh, I should probably go to the next page first. The first one we're going to work with is the pattern, use pattern tab. You're going to create your filled object. You're going to open your carving stamp docker. You're going to select the use pattern tab, and we're going to do all of this together. You're going to move over to your filled object. Notice that the pattern you selected is attached to your pointer. When you place the pattern over your object and make the first click, the first left click, it's going to anchor it to your object, anchor the pattern to your object. And if you move your mouse, your pointer, you'll see that it rotates. When you have it positioned exactly where you want it, left click again, and it will lock in your pattern. It will lock in your pattern and activate the stamp. So with that, let's go down here and open up our carving stamp docker. Now your carving stamp docker is up here. It looks like a rubber stamp. So you're going to click that and it's going to pop open a docker. All right, 4 tabs: use pattern, use object, digitize, and appearance. We're going to start with a fresh new block. Let's see. I like to mix up the colors. So let's just make it a simple square. How's that sound? You can do this with a satin fill, which is, oh, Joanne, are you here? Good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm a little froggy this morning. I'm sorry. So yes, going back, you can use this on a satin fill or a tatami fill. Just to give you an example, we're going to go back to the satin fill. And you know, when your fill is really wide, uh, Joanne is saying that, sorry, I got distracted. Joanne is saying that she loves putting the stamp, putting veins into the satin leaves. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do it kind of tricky though. So, you know, when your satin is too wide, it splits. And your machine's only going to be able to handle a satin that's about 12 millimeters wide. And you really don't want to use a 12 millimeter wide satin unless you have extra support under it, like foam. So the one thing you can do is you can create your own defined split by using the carving stamps. So we're on our first tab, use pattern. This is our block that we're going to use a pattern on. We're going to take this fan, we're going to select the pattern, and then we're going to make sure that that's what's in our user window. And then we're going to click use stamp. We're going to, you see how it's attached to my pointer? We're going to drop it with our first left click, which will then allow us to rotate it in position. If we need to resize it, we can do that. We press the control key. Maybe it was the shift key. There it is. It's the shift key, and it will allow us to resize it. Once we have it the size we want, we left click again, and it causes the stamp. Of course, until we escape, it will not release the stamp. It'll continue to provide more stamps. I want you to be able to see this. Maybe I should change its color again. But it still has a lot of splits in here because this is a fairly large piece. So let's pick up another stamp. Let's make sure that it's in our box. We're going to click Use Stamp. We're going to come over here to place it. We're going to lock it in place. It can rotate. Shift to resize. Oh, shift to resize. And left click to stamp. Any questions about that? Oh, there's a whole bunch I've missed. Hold on. Let me catch up with you all. Hello, hello. Hey, Kingsbury Craft is here. Good morning, Gail. Jesse, good morning. Good morning. All right. So that is using a predefined pattern. And just like with the motifs, there's all kinds of patterns in here. All kinds of patterns. Think, oh, we'll do that at the end. Never mind, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, so that's how we use patterns. Now, we're going to go to Use Object. The thing that makes Use Object a bit tricky is that your object has to be, and it's talking about your image object. Your object has to be a vector file. Now, if you're using a JPEG or a PNG, you can take it over into CorelDRAW and do a bitmap trace of your clip art and then bring it back. That bitmap is now a vector file. To do our stamp, our use clip art, use object stamp, we're going to start selecting. It's going to tell us that it wants us to select the object that we want to use to stamp. And do you see how it's changed its coloring to an outline? Once I release this, it'll pop up in our view box. There it is. Now, just like using the predefined, we're now going to use this stamp and we're going to place it where we want. Our first left click is going to lock it in place, which will allow us to spin it and rotate it. And just like the others, we can resize it. And then we left click and we clear the pattern. We can make another one. There, we can put it over here. So we just need to release it by hitting our escape key or going up here to our select key. So that is how to use the use object. Remember, you have to have a vector image so that you can select it. Now, one other thing, if you want to keep this, stamp, you can add it to your library. You can add to library. You create your own folder, name it leaf, and then leaf 1, just in case you have multiple leaves. And then you hit OK. You want to reference your rotate position. We're going to set it here and click. Oh, that's our first lock point. Now, where do we want to set the stamp? We can do it in the same place by pressing enter, or we can locate it someplace else. Your leaf has been created. So let's see how that works now. Make that a fill. We're going to go to use pattern because remember we saved this. There is our leaf. Use stamp. Do you see where the pointer is locked? It's at that start position. I can now rotate it and resize it. And when it is where I want it, I will click on the second button, the second position, and it will stamp. Not bad. Oh, Barb, I'm sorry. Here, could you use it with the sphere tool? I've been working on a Death Star on a patch. I'm not sure the best way to approach that. That's a good question. Honestly, Barb, I'm not sure which tool is the sphere tool. Those are jump settings. We'll have to figure that out, Barb. Okay, so that was use object, and that was saving it to the library. Now, we're going to go over here, and we're going to do a digitize. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to bring in a piece of artwork. Seahorse. And I don't normally do this, but we're on a time crunch. So I am going to just simply auto digitize this. I'm going to change the stitch direction. There we go. Let me make it a different color. Let me bring it up to size. Okay. When you have your object, and now you want to digitize your carving lines. Here, we're going to start digitizing. And digitizing your carving lines is just like when you digitize your object, only you're digitizing the carving lines. So start digitizing. We want a curve here, enter. Every time we need to make a new line, We press enter to keep the first line. And once we have our lines carved, we press enter to generate our splits. Okay, so now we've created our stamp. Pick up your stamp and it will stamp exactly where you put it. One of the things that we did not talk about, oh, and you can add this one to your library as well. One of the things we didn't talk about yet is changing your stitch angle. If you select your object and go to reshape, it'll show you the stitch angle of your object, just like any other digitized piece. If you change your stitch angle, it will affect how your carving is going to show. If you want to change your stitch angle to show your carving in a better position, you change it wherever you want to make it to give you the best of your stitch angle. The other thing, if you go back to reshape, you can now your reshape your carving lines. Just like every other digitizing. That sounds good, Barb. She's going to send it over in, she's going to send me the image so that we can figure out how to do her Death Star. So select your carving line and you can change it just like editing any other digitized line. When you have it, press enter and you've changed your line. Now, if you change your carving lines and then you decide that your object needs to be edited, and again, you're going to go to your reshape tool and you're going to reshape. Reshaping the object is not going to change your carving lines. I brought these edges in. Our carving line was right here. It did not follow the new curve. It followed the original carving line. You can change your object any way you want, but the carving lines will stay until you change those. Joanne wants to know if you can use multiple angles. You can if your object supports that. For example, let's go back to our seahorse. Let's see what happens if we make him a satin. Yeah, we got quite a bit of split here. But I can select my angles and I can add, come back here, little doggy. I can add stitch angles just like any other object. And the split lines, the carving lines, will remain the same. Okay. We have one more tab. We're going to talk about appearance. We're going to stick with our seahorse here. There are two appearance settings. One is to soften the stamp. And what it does is it makes the stamp, but it's not as defined. The other one is to raise the stamp, which you can't see here because this is not a fill. We're going to put this back into a fill. All right, we're going to raise the stamp. Oh, for crying out loud. Yeah, let's go to a different one. There. All right, let's come up to here. Make this just a wee bit smaller. Okay, with the raised stamp, the stamp area is raised up above the fill area. Just another look to your stamps, and that appearance works across the board. That for all of the program splits, the user defined, anything that is in your carving stamp will. Sorry, Joanne, I'm trying to catch up. Will be affected. Now, what if you don't like where that stamp is? All you have to do is clear the stamp. Of course, if you change your mind, you can back. You can undo and clear the stamp. Easy peasy, clear the stamp. Okay? Now, one other function. Just like if you have the software, and you will know that you do or not, if you have, and it's not highlighted right now, a create program split, you can create your own stamp. And we're going to do that. We're going to digitize a stamp. Not too bad. Object, create program split. What is it going to be called? Fish 3. Okay. The operation. Oh, Joanne, teaching, love it. It's just going to say it's going to be part of your templates. Now, create another fill. Go to stamps, and we're going to look. Oh, fish 3. There's fish 3. Of course, I made fish 3 really, really big, so let's make it really, really small. And so we have our stamp. Okay, so you can create your own stamps. You can create your own tools. Letty, did you make it? Good morning. All right, I am going back to Joanne. Yes, Letty, we are. But you know, you can always You can always message me if you go back over this and there's a question, just send me a message. I can be reached. Okay, so Joanne is telling us that you can edit by choosing the green diamond in edit mode. And edit mode, I'm assuming she's meaning the reshape. Looking for a green diamond. No. The only green diamond I have here is my start and stop. Let me look under edit. Select by color, reverse, smooth, transform. Nope, that's mirroring. Joanne, send me a message. Send me a message, and we can always amend our presentation to include the green diamond. All right. So that is, it shows the nodes. Yes, it does. In our reshape tool, it shows all the nodes. It shows the carving stamp nodes. I found your diamond. I found the diamond. Let me enlarge this again so you see it. It's right here. And that's allowing me to move it, to move my stamp. Thank you. Turn off true view. Yep, there it is. And it can change the location. Oh, look, there's more. You're so smart, Joanne. You're so smart. I can elongate it. I can make it wider. And I can spin it. Can I spin it? Yes, I can. Joanne, you're so smart. Love it. Love it. Um, so yeah, this is going to give us a lot of different ways to create texture and dimension in our work. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that awesome? Okay. Um, Letty, send me an email if you have questions or if you want to go over this. No, I just know Bernina. um, I believe it is interesting, Cindy. Cindy, once you get through your tatami and start playing with this is going to be so much fun. All right. Um, we have to go. We're 45 minutes. Well, not quite 45. We're pushing it though. I don't want to keep you from your day. Let's see. So, if there are no other questions, we'll just kind of hang out for a moment so I can see if there are any other questions. You're welcome, Jesse. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy's taking my digitizing classes. Um, we're doing the first set of 3 classes, which is just an introduction to what each tool does. Next time we're going to talk about our next set talks about theory of digitizing, the things you need to know about digitizing. Thank you, Barb. You all have a great weekend too. All right, I'm going to go. You all have a great weekend. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Bye now. Fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.